What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic. And today's project, this is the Cadillac Fleetwood Mod by bdasilvacarvalho. It is looking pretty good. Available on the Steam Workshop. There will be a link in the description below. I say looking pretty good. It is definitely not looking good right now, but I can already picture the style with some colors on it looking pretty fantastic, and that beautiful red interior, which is looking very, very, very nice. So let's jump in. Before we fully jump in, let's get up in the air. The Nissan Z is finally on the show car board, coming in 4th place. So thank you to everybody who voted for that. 9.8 out of 10 from 5 votes. So thank you very much. Did pretty well coming in 4th place there. Not quite squeezing into the top 3, but it is out the front. Sadly, knocking the Marina Bizzarini just out of that 5th place. So that's no longer visible out front. That one's now gone to parking to be hidden forevermore. But I'm still very pleased with that Nissan Z Street Edition. And it looks like you guys enjoyed it quite a bit as well. Into the top 3 is where we go for the Signature Series t-shirt and cup or mug, whichever you want to call that. We didn't quite make it into that one. And today or this weekend is your last chance to purchase the Signature Series camper mug and t-shirts just there, and then they will be going off a sale as of midnight August the 31st. They will no longer be available for anyone to purchase anywhere. So if you do want one, now is the last time I can tell you that this is the last chance to get it. After this there will be no more and they will be gone. So if you want one and you haven't got one yet, you need to grab one now. So anyway, enough of that, let's crack on. I asked you guys in the comments where you wanted this one to be put around. Did you want it on the racetrack? Did you want it on the drag strip? I did say no to the gravel track. And thankfully, Ethan Fitzgerald has suggested that we put this beast around the racetrack today. So that's what we're going to do, potentially with some bad consequences. We shall find out by the time we get there a little bit later on. But now let's jump in and talk about this Cadillac Fleetwood. Just the 2 configs. As I said in the last episode, one's with the black interior, ones with the red interior. They are both called standard, so just keep your eye out for that one. Pretty sure they're available in all the places, and I didn't change anything. If not, you might have to add junkyard maybe, so you can pick it up from the bad auction house, so on and so forth. If it's not available in the auctions, you might have to add that sort of thing. Nice and easy to do in the config files, or you can do it via the car editor. But anyway, we got ours from the auction house, the bad auction house, and it's in pretty bad condition. Did we get a good deal for it, though? No, 11,030 is what we paid, and we could sell it currently for 8,836, losing out on 2,194. And as we aren't drag racing, there's no prize winnings to claim back, so we've got to claim all of that back in the build quality and what we do with this beast. Now, there isn't any engine swap options. You do just have the V8 overhead valve SS engine, so we'll be sticking with that one, tuning it up as best we can. We do have a full engine in there by the looks of it, which we haven't had in the past few episodes. We've had no engine, so I've had to go and buy one, crate engine as they call it. But today we've got an engine, so I think we're going to take this one apart, repair what we can repair, and then upgrade, to the performance parts, what we need to upgrade to make this one just a little bit more powerful. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be pretty good. As I said, head over to virtualmechanic-shop.4full.com. The last chance to pick up this mug or the Signature Series t-shirt, which is very similar. I'll put an image on screen of the t-shirt for you now. Very much the last chance to go and grab one, so make sure you do. But enough of that. Let's get cracking with this Cadillac Fleetwood. Looking absolutely beautiful. It is time to get this body all clean, though. Look at all of that dust and grime. So let's get it into the car wash. Let's get this beautiful Cadillac all cleaned up. Let's get this caddy all clean then. Hopefully looking fantastic. What colour will it be underneath the dust and the grime? We know we got that beautiful red interior. What colour are we starting out with? A beigey, yellowy, boring, plain colour. Which actually, I say all of that. What I'm actually thinking is that this is a much more vibrant yellow. These are black. And that red interior really pops with it. So if we can get that to go as a colour combination, that may be what we end up with. But so far, not happy with that. Anyway, let's get the interior done. Get this beast back on the lifter. Get the engine ripped out of there. Strip down the engine bay and suspension. And get this ready to get some lovely new body panels before going into the paint booth. The caddy's in the air. We need to check. We've got some suspension parts missing, but we need to check for that oil pan. There is an oil pan, so we need to get that one drained. So let's move you over, get you drained out. I see even with the latest version of TK Aftermarket, you still get the shiny one exhaust section. Did we drain? we must have done. There we go. I didn't see whether it was clear or not. That was very quick. But with a quick comment about the exhaust section in there. Anyway, let's jump in underneath and get started with our starter. If it's in, there she is. Out you come with also our first rusty bolt. Nice and easy. Now we need to grab this drive shaft out. We'll check later on whether this one clips through the body or not. I'm not 100% sure. We will find out as we get on in through this episode. And then out with the gearbox. Nice and easy. And then our two front exhaust sections. One which will be 100%. And one which will not be. There we go. Out you two come. The contrast in difference. One was 100%. The other was 8%. But that should be it. We should be able to pull that V8 engine out of there. So let's go and grab the engine crane and give it a bash. Can we get the engine of this Fleetwood out in the first go? No. Front exhaust section? Oh, has it got two front exhaust sections? Have I made a boo-boo? There we go. We didn't get the engine out. And that's why I always check. That's why I always say, can we get the engine out? Because you never know. This has obviously got, yes, two sets of front exhaust sections. There we go. Out you come as well. Now we should be able to lift that engine out of there. So back down you go. And we'll give this a bash once it's down. That's better. Engine coming out of there. Nice and easy. Let's jump in and see what we've got going on in this engine bay. So, I don't think we've got an ECU, but it's a carbureted engine, I believe. So there we go. That makes sense. We do have a fuse box up here. We've got our brake servo, our battery, our power steering reservoir, wishy-washy reservoir. Coolant is inside the older style radiator there. So we don't need to worry about that one. I mean, we still need to worry about it when it comes to draining it, but we don't need to worry about a coolant container. And I think that's about it for the engine bay. Nice and simple on there. Fuel tank and fuel pump down the back. As for the front suspension, one side's complete. The other side's got quite a few bits missing, so I'll sort that one out as we go. We did have all of the exhaust, so we don't worry about that. And then down to the rear, we're also missing some suspension parts. And we've got drum brakes at the back, so we're not powerful on that stopping, which might make the racetrack a little bit more difficult a little bit later on. But there we go. Let's jump back up to the front and start draining some of these liquids. Right-click, additional tools, drain tool, and then we're going to start with this radiator. Click on the radiator, or click and hold on the radiator, and it will drain all the liquid out. There we go. I'm going to get the rest of these drained, all of the engine bay and suspension all stripped out, and then we'll come back. It'll be time to sort out the bodywork on this beautiful Caddy. So make sure you stay tuned for that one, and then we're going to be getting it into the paint shop, and checking out if there's any liveries, and deciding what sort of colours to go with for this beautiful Caddy. That's everything mechanical, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back in our beautiful Fleetwood. But now we need to crack on and sort this bodywork out. Not that there's much of it, but let's start getting it all off. Headlight, windshield, and door and mirror off there. Front bumper, no, nothing there. Nothing around there, nothing around there. A rear window we can take out. Is that all car part ones a piece? Is that the internal? Oh, that's the whole interior piece. That's how you can get it with the red colour. Rear bumper, that is down there. That is a trunk tail light, apparently. Nothing else over there. Nothing else up there. That looks to be all of it, apart from that one cheeky little red seat. So let's just go and grab you out there. I think we'll keep the seats as they are, because they should match in with the rest of that interior. And I think we might have got everything. That's not the screen I want. This screen here, 1%. We can swap the frame if we want to, but I don't want to do that, so that should mean nothing showing up here. Fantastic. That is what we like. Frames at 10%, and I bought the car for a little over 11,000. So what do we think? I don't think this is going to be a lot. I'm going to go with a classic 1,500. 1,500, bang on. I absolutely nailed it. So happy with that. So let's get you done. Let's jump in and check out the body shop for this Cadillac Fleetwood. Obviously into the community car body shops. Cadillac Fleetwood right at the top there, because it's in the shop. And then we can see all our different options. There we go. The red interior. So the rear bench is actually part of the car model, not just interior pieces. So we need to keep that one for definite. So we're definitely going with car part 1B for all that red interior, and also 2B on there. Engine cover, we have got one. May paint it invisible. Depends how good it looks once we put it in. Front bumper, front end. Obviously door specific, door specific. The rest of it looks like it might just be like for like. Obviously rear doors on there. And the rest of that looks like it's like for like. Nice and simple. So I'm going to get this welder put away. Complain about this colour, although it's a little bit golden, obviously on the body, but on the interior stuff, it looks very matte. So we're not going to be sticking with that colour at all. It's just so waiting room in there, and I'm not a fan. So anyway, I'm going to go crack on and repair the body parts I can repair, which wasn't a lot. Buy what we need to buy, and then we can get this beautiful Fleetwood all back together, ready to go into the paint booth. Let's get this Fleetwood Mac Caddy all back together then, ready to go into the paint booth. I think I've got all the parts, so let's just crack on. And I'm going to actually dip underneath, and I'm going to start with the engine cover. Let's get you on there, which covers some inside fenders, also gives us some strut bars and a little bit of cowling for our radiator just there, which may look quite good. We'll see how it turns out a bit later on. On with the hood there, then the front fenders, front end, and obviously our headlights. First part we managed to repair is this headlight here. On we go. Some of the mods you can repair the headlights. Obviously the law cars you cannot. On with this right fender. On you go. Then we've got a windshield in here. And before we put the doors and stuff on, I'm going to whack our brand new red interior. I did have to buy a new one of these. And our brand new rear red bench seat in there. Looking fantastic. Let's get the doors on. This was the door I managed to repair. Nice and easy. And we did also manage to repair this mirror. So there we go. Pretty good in my opinion. On with the shiny new rear door and window for there. And then we've got our rear window, a lovely new trunk. We've got the little tail lights just in here. In you go, in you go. We've got a rear clamshell, which is a license plate surround, which looks awesome. And then a blank license plate. We'll just get that one on there. On with the tail light, rear bumper, and other tail lights. Obviously all brand new around there. And then up to this side, on with that door, on with this door, in with the windows, and then a cheeky little mirror just to finish off with. And I think that's everything. Oh, blank license plate on the front. We're going to need you as well. On you go. And then the last bit to go in is just the interior. And I've left it all as it was because it did look, well, it will look very good, should I say. So the front seats are the High Road A seats, and they obviously do look almost perfect compared to that rear bench, although this has got a bit more texture on it. So maybe we can do something in the paint shop a little bit. Actually, it's not that bad. You can see some texture when you get a bit closer, so never mind on that one. But let's just get in and pop the steering wheel in, which is the steering wheel 15. A bit too chromey for my liking, but there is some chrome on the inside, so maybe we will stick with that coloured as it is. But there we go. Is that everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. It definitely is for this beautiful Caddy. Now let's get it into the paint shop and see what options we've got for this one. In the paint booth then with a beautiful Caddy. Definitely don't like this colour, so that is going to go. Although I quite like this sort of dark grey colour that's currently on there. That's, you know, our standard finish for all your newly bought parts. So that looks pretty good. But let's see if we've got any liveries. Sadly, there are no liveries for this one today. I really don't like that colour. So let's see what factory colours we've got. Solid black. Not a fan of this. You can see all the texture in it. I've never really liked the solid colours in this game. What else have we got? Metallic-y, whitey silver. Then a solid white. That looks awesome. Then I don't like those colours. Burgundy red with the red interior is too much. Lilac, maybe. Not a fan of them. Pink Caddy. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong with a pink Caddy, but I don't think it looks good with the red interior. Then a bit of a solid red on there. I don't even know what to call that. I do quite like this bronzy sort of colour, though, but I do think it's a bit much with the red, and then a very, very light blue, which I definitely don't feel like we want to go for. So let's go back into here, and I did think I quite liked, I reckon it's probably around this grey here. Do we just keep it gloss? Do we make that a little bit darker? Or do we go into a different finish, maybe like a pearl finish? Oh, that looks a bit better. Slightly lighter in the pearl. I think that's what we're going to go for. I'm liking that. We're still going to use some blacks on the engine bay. Obviously, we've got some blacks going on as well. Again, I may try and get rid of some of this chrome. There's a lot of chrome. I think we're going to have to leave the chrome. I think I'm going to have a chrome accent. I'm going to have to use chrome a lot more. Fair enough. It is what it is. I do like this grey colour, though. What do we reckon for the bolt? Do we just go with the interior red or a version thereof? I probably won't be able to match that perfectly. But if we go into here and go... I'm going to go... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Off we go from that. I've lost my colour, obviously. So I'm going to go back into pearl. We're on the right colour. That's fine. Down to the bottom one. Screw painting. All screws, but not rims. And I think we just go for a vibrant red. A full vibrant red, I reckon. I don't know. Let's give it a bash. Let's just accept that. I may swap it around a bit later on, but we'll settle with that for now. I do like this grey colour. We open that up. It's a matte grey in there. I think I'm going to try and get this engine cover a bit darker or mixed with black and chrome if I can. Hopefully I can on there. I'm not going to do anything with those seats. And I am going to leave the steering wheel. I was tempted not to leave the steering wheel and try and do something. But I think that's actually about all we're going to do for the bodywork. I think I'm going to leave the rest of it as it is for a change. Might change if it will. If it does, I'll let you all know before we move on. But for the moment, I think this is where we're going to sit. Have I got anything in here I can show the bolts on just yet? Doesn't look like it. No, we'd have to go to the underside to do that. So we'll come back to that one. Hopefully they're going to look all right. And a sort of similar colour to the red on the interior there. We have got a bit of wood on the inside. I know. Stop it. We can't do anything else with the interior. I was thinking about maybe some wood on the steering wheel, but that's going to be too much. I think that's it for the bodywork, for the exterior, and obviously for this interior. I think we're going to leave that as it is. I do like the red. It pops so nice, especially on this dark grey. So there we go. I'm going to get cracking and paint this engine. Probably a lot of black, red, maybe just mostly black and chrome. We are racing it, so maybe a little splash of carbon fibre if we can make it look good. I'm not sure yet, but that's the plan. Let's crack on with it. I'm going to get everything painted. Let's get this beast back onto the lifter and start getting it all back together. That's everything painted for the beautiful Caddy. Looking absolutely fantastic. Loving this. Quite like this grey on the body in the pearl finish. Something a little bit different. I normally go for either vibrant matte colours or blacks and things like that. But this sort of grey is pretty cool. And it does work really well with the chrome. Hence why I haven't bothered blacking out any of this front end stuff. I've just left it as it all is for the exterior. All looking pretty nice as we saw it just a minute ago. Let's open the hood though. I did put a bit of chrome black and steel black on this engine cover. A few little bits of steel black just poking through there and there. The rest of it comes in this sort of shiny black. All looking quite nice. Quite pleased with how that turned out. Let's jump in and see the rest of the engine bay. On the brake servo, we got a bit of carbon fibre on here with that body-coloured grey. Looking good. On the battery, we got carbon fibre on the cover. A steel black, on the base there, and chrome support rods. That is carbon fibre just on our power steering reservoir, and over to the wishy-washy reservoir, also carbon fibre. The radiator's just got a sort of pearl black on it. Quite dark on there, looking quite nice. And our fuse box is also in a bit of that carbon fibre. Lots of carbon fibre going on throughout the engine bay. Let's jump down to the suspension, though. In here, we've got body-coloured grey on the shocks with some red springs. Now, a lot of the reds used in here aren't force reds. They're just how you could paint them base. I know some parts can't be painted base, but how you would paint them base. So some of the reds might look a little bit different. So the brake calipers and the bushings are a forced red. You can see they're a bit more vibrant than the rest of the reds. They're all a bit duller, but I like how it's turned out. The bushings on the actual cross member are just natural colour. The bushings everywhere else are in that red colour, and it's all looking pretty good. Bit of black and chrome on the upper and lower arms there. I'm quite pleased with how that all turned out. We jump down to the back. Obviously, we've got drum brakes and not discs. And I decided rather than doing a vibrant red on the front of the drums, I would just go for a pearl black this time around, matched in with the leaf springs there, and obviously the fuel tank. And we've got grey on the shocks, and then a few bits of red and chrome dotted elsewhere. Even got a black cover on the back of the rear diff there, and obviously a red pinion flange on the front. All looking pretty good. I'm quite pleased with how this Caddy's turned out. It's all looking pretty good so far, but now we need to go and build that SS engine. So let's get into the other room. She's already on the block, ready to go, on the stand, ready to go. I guess it is the block. But the block itself is in that body red, that red that we've been using, unforced, with a bit of steel black on there. Timing covers in steel black as well. The engine heads are in chrome and red. Same red, but they come out different on either side. So this side you get chrome all around the outside, chrome in the middle, and chrome on the springs, and red sort of everywhere else. On this side, you got full red on the interior, red on the springs, chrome on the actual spring holders. I'm not sure what you call them. And chrome on the outside. Visually on the outside, they'll look the same, but on the inside, they just come out a bit different, which is a bit weird, but they're going to get covered up anyway, so it doesn't matter. You do also have your classic 8 push rods and 8 rocker arms on either side, so 16 in total. Spark plugs just sit on the end here in a weird combination, but it looks fantastic. 4 on each side, so 8 in total. Oil filter and fuel filter, both in that cheeky little red. We've got an arm up here just in the black, and if we nip round to the back, the distributor is in a chrome and that body grey with a carbon fibre cap and red clips on them. And let's get on and start putting some of the rest of this stuff back on this beautiful engine. starting with the water pump, which is in chrome with a little splash of red just on the front there. I did the crankshaft pulley in a full vibrant red, the water pump pulley in the black, and then the power steering pump just down here in black and red, looking very nice. The alternators up here also in a black and red, but the other way round. Again, I think that looks absolutely fantastic. I love working with this alternator because it's just got a lot of painting options that you can do with it, and it always looks fantastic. We got pearl black on the belts, and I think I'm going to use this from now on because it sort of dulls them a little bit, but still gives them a bit of shine. And I quite like how that turns out whilst taking all the lettering and stuff off, which I don't like. But anyway, radiator fan on you go in a pearl black on the front there, just to make it pop just that little bit more. Let's crack on. The engine head covers, these are in carbon fibre, keeping up with that carbon fibre theme we've got going. I think they look pretty good. Pleased with how they turned out. On you go on the other side. And then we've got our beautiful carburetors. Now, these are in steel black and the red. And I think they've turned out absolutely beautiful. Not that we're going to see them that much, but they look absolutely fantastic. I like how you get all these red bits around the outside. And obviously, the bolts will go red once it's in the car. The air filter, we've done that one in a carbon fibre. Sort of came off the chrome to go at the top end and stuck with carbon fibre all the way up throughout there. And I'm very pleased with how that's turned out, looking very nice. Our exhaust manifolds, these are in chrome black and then forced onto the first section, we call it in life. So they just keep all of the shininess on the texture on there without sort of the dimpling effect that can sometimes happen, which is why I use it. But there we go. That's all of that on. Last piece to go on is just our ignition wires, and they are the last bit of red just to pop on there. And I think they finish it off looking absolutely beautiful. Black, red, and chrome on there. It is looking fantastic. But let's get it off the stand and dropped into the beautiful Caddy. Let's get this engine dropped in then and crack on with the gearbox, starter, drive shafts, and all of the exhaust after we get a first look at the engine. Just seeing the darkness at the top there, obviously it's carbon fibre, but from a distance you won't notice that. But as we get a bit closer, you'll see the chromes start popping off the chromes there with all the red coming in. That's looking very nice, and obviously all of the red bolts on there all look absolutely fantastic. I'm incredibly pleased with how this engine's turned out today. Black, red, and chrome. This engine has honestly made me like chrome a little bit more than I used to, as I'm not a big fan of it, but it looks beautiful on there. But let's get it up in the air. We've got a few extra bits to go for the underside here before we crack on and get the windows tinted and start deciding what we're going to do with these rims, because I've not paid any attention to that at all yet. So the gearbox itself is in steel black and red, keeping a bit of red on the connection there and on that side plate. I do also like how you get a bit of red trim around where the gearbox connects, so it just makes it just that little bit different. Starter I did in red but not forced, so it still pops a little bit. You still get a bit of darkness in there, looking quite nice. Then we got our first front exhaust sections on the U-Go, and then our front exhaust pipes. Now these are in steel. No, they're not. They're in chrome black, forced with the Quality of Life mod, but then they've got a bit of chrome plating on them. So you've got the chrome plate or chrome finish with Quality of Life mod. If you select the chrome plated, you still keep some of the texture on there whilst giving it just that little bit extra. Just looking a bit nicer, in my opinion, which we'll see when we go to the underneath. Middle muffler are our resonator delete pipes. That took me about 4 attempts to say in a very short period of time. And then on with our rear mufflers. These are two-tone. They've got a bit of actual chrome on the back there. Don't want the drive shaft. Yeah, I want you. So they're a bit mixed. So you get black coming in, but then chrome going out to the tips. I just thought it might look a little bit better. We'll see when the car's on the ground in a moment. On with the drive shaft. The carbon fibre drive shaft from TK Aftermarket. The image has disappeared. I'm not sure why. We did ours in chrome and red on there, just to make the underside pop a little bit more, because it is just a little bit dark. But that's it apart from the wheels. So let's go in and take a walk out. Plenty of chrome and plenty of red. I like the chrome plating on them exhausts. That turned out amazing. Then a bit of chrome running down the middle with a bit of clipping, but it is what it is. And then plenty of black and red visible off the back end. Very, very nice. The other question we got to ask is, does that drive shaft clip through the middle? Is the bigger, chunkier drive shaft? And we have a big tunnel, so there is no clipping in there. Absolutely fantastic. Very pleased with that. Now we need to crack on and get some windows tinted. So let's go and grab our window tinting equipment, kit, whatever you want to call it. And let's get started with that. We're going to do pretty much the standard with the windows, and then we'll come back and see what else we can modify in just a moment. Here we are then. For the windshield, I've gone 70% for the front windows as well. And then the rears are all 100%, giving us plenty of coverage on there. Then we've got doors. Okay. Nothing changing on the outside. Let's just try and peek in on the inside. See if anything's changing. Well, there is something changing down there. What is that? I don't know, but it changes. But I'm going to leave it anyway. So we'll assume that the front and right door and left door are the same. I'm assuming this is going to change the same thing. It does, whatever that section is there. I'm not sure, but I'm going to leave it. Headlight. I'm not too fussed about these because they do look pretty good. And as soon as we try and take a tiny bit of colour out of there, they don't look so good. So I'm going to leave them as they are. Tail lights down the back. Again, I quite like these in the red, so I feel like taking any colour out of them. Although going full black looks quite nice with that little logo in the centre there. No, I think we're going to leave them as they are. The middle tail lights. Again, it's about the same. We're going to leave them as they are. Car part 1. Oh, this is the whole interior. I don't really know if I'm changing anything. Let's go around to the other side. Get a better view of the dashboard. Doesn't look like it appears to be changing anything. I can't see anything, so we're going to leave it not changed, just to be on the safe side. And that is all of them. Right, first things first. Let's take a seat inside and see if we'll be able to drive with this. We're using the chase camera anyway, so it won't matter. But that's not too bad. I can see out anyway. Oh, I do like the vibrance of this red. And you can see that weird square in the corner. That's what was tinting with it. I don't understand why. Is that meant to be a light of some description? Anyway, it looks quite good, so we'll leave it as it is. But there we go. Windshield, or the windows are all tinted. I need to now top up some liquids in that beautiful engine in there. And then we'll work on getting some beautiful rims decided what we're going to go for the Cadillac Fleetwood. I've picked the rims, and today we're going for the Rim Retro 12, although slightly in green for a moment there. Definitely not what we're going with. I've got a chrome black here. This is officially just a factory, normal chrome finish on there. But we are going to add chrome to it. So if we scroll across here and get on to the chrome finish, I want a little bit of both. I want some shiny black around the outside, and then these middle arms to all be in a chrome. Almost there. That's got to be the one, hasn't it? It's a shame that it's not. The black bolts would have looked fantastic on there. Can we get it? We can't. That's all of the options. So I think we go back to 3. I think that's the one we're going to go with chrome arms and then a chrome black around the outside. Looking pretty nice. Let's get on and get that painted. And then let's get these attached to some tyres and bolt it on to the beautiful Caddy. Just balancing this last rim, and then we can get this side on. And then that'll be the Caddy almost finished. The rims are already on the other side. As I said, Rim Retro 12 for the backs. We've gone for a 20-inch rim with a 255 width and a 40 profile on there. And I think it's going to look pretty good. Let's get it on. No ET needed at the back. Obviously, because we got them drum brakes, we don't have to push these wires off of anything on there. It's quite chunky. It does clip a little bit with the internals, but not on the external. If we look there, there's no clipping. It's only if you go really underneath, you can see that it does bash in a little bit. But we needed some wider tyres. Otherwise, this was definitely going to struggle going around the track. On with the fronts, though. Rim Retro 12 still. The fronts are a 20-inch rim, but only 215 width. 40 profile still on there. And ET of 10, because we got that big brake kit, we wanted to make sure none of the wires clipped in with the brakes. And, slowed us down around the racetrack, because that would have been disappointing. But there we go. I think this is all 100% finished now. We do have some plates to change. It is all 100% finished. So we're almost done. Let's get you dropped onto the ground. Looking fantastic. Let's get this beautiful Caddy outside in the sun. Get it on the dyno. And then try and do a couple of laps around the racetrack. Just a couple of things left to do for the Mac Daddy Track Caddy. That's definitely what's going on the license plate. Speaking of the license plate, let's get on with that. Off you come. And let's get our Track Caddy plates on there. Looking pretty nice. It is a Caddy, and we will be taking it round the track. So there we go. Track Caddy. Perfect. Off you come with the rear plate. And let's get our replacement one on. And now that is literally the car perfectly done. We've got to get it on the dyno, find out what its horsepower and drag rating will be, and see if we can hold a decent lap around the track. But before we get to there, let's jump inside for the final time. In we go and see. Wow, I love this interior. I don't know, red interior has just always pleased me. It always looks fantastic. I've got red on my Mustang on the inside next to the door there. It just looks very good. But let's get this one started and hear the SS V8. Absolutely perfect tick over and grumble on there. Loving that. Let's give it some gas though. Still a bit mean sounding at the top end. Just how I like it. Also, there's definitely a cassette tape in here. Looking fantastic. I love the cassette deck. Yeah, very, very happy. But anyway, let's get this beautiful track caddy onto the dyno. See what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. Let's get this Cadillac Fleetwood all dynoed then. 307 horsepower from that factory V8 SS engine. How much have we added today with all of our performance parts and tuning? Let's have a look. A gain of 304 horsepower, 99%. Not quite a whole new engine, but so close. It is unbelievable. Bringing us up to a total of 610 horsepower and a drag rating of B 337. Not that we're drag racing this one today. We're taking it around the racetrack, hence why this is the track caddy. Let's get on though and have a look at the gearbox tune for today. This is what I've gone for. Not changed much, I'll be honest. I brought the final ratio down just a little bit to 277. That's all I've done. I've not changed any of the tunings or timings on the gears because I did a test drive and it felt pretty good. I just wanted a little bit more top end. So a little bit off on the final ratio there just to give us a better top speed at the top end of each gear. Nice and simple. This one does have carburetors. So we have two fully tuned carburetors giving us 3% each. And if you want to learn how to easily do this every time, there's a short up in the top right hand corner here, and if it's not there, it's linked in the description below along with a link to do the ECU perfectly every time as well. But obviously we got carburetors today, so we played with them instead. But anyway, let's get this beautiful track caddy onto the track, get some lap times down and see if we can get it onto the racetrack lap time board, although it's doubtful with another land yacht. Well, here we are then on the racetrack with the track caddy, the Cadillac Fleetwood. This is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you again to Ethan Fitzgerald for suggesting we take this one around the racetrack. It will either be a lot of fun or it will go horribly wrong. I'm sure you'll enjoy it either way. So we're going to do a standing lap, then a flying lap. The flying lap's the one we need to get it onto the racetrack lap time board. You probably won't see too much of the standing lap, but I'll show you all of the flying lap regardless of what happens. So let's get on with it. Come on, track caddy. Let's do this. So if we go full power, and I should be able to stick full power for a lot of that. Start nice and easy. The slick tyres definitely helping there. Just need to make sure we get around that first corner without crashing into the tyres or the barrier. Little bit off the power there. A few little squirts of power around the corner, maybe a bit much. So we'll just tap on the brakes as this is the standing lap, so it's not too important anyway. Up the first stretch, coming into the final S sections before the home straight, and we get on with that flying lap, keeping it flat through there, but you are going to need to brake before that second part of the corner. Otherwise, you carry way too much speed, as I did there, but not too bad. We got away with it just about. Dab of brakes in the wrong place, right on the center of the corner, almost spinning all the way out. A 135 for our standing lap. Hopefully, we can do a lot better with our flying lap as we use the wall there to get us around the corner. Probably not going to do well for our overall time, but keeping it flat through there and through there as we come up to the first big straight into the big banked left-hand turn, slightly banked. I can't remember which one's more banked. The second one's more banked, isn't it? Bit of braking on there. That should have taken enough speed off of us, get us around the corner all the way up to the exit there. And again, I had to let off the acceleration because I was late on the turning in, but should be able to keep it flat through here, up into the big banked right-hand turn. My least favourite corner on this track, if I'm being honest. So definitely some braking on there. Drop it down into, we've only gone to third this time. Bit of manual gear changing to get us into second. Using that power to slide us around the corner. I just hope that we beat the first time. The standing lap with that wall ride we had at the beginning. A little bit of braking there. Don't need too much for this corner. It's very much banked until the exit. And then we just slam the power all the way down. A little bit wobbly on the way out as it tried to fight us. We managed to keep it. As we come into the final S's, full power around the first part of the corner. Then we're definitely going to need trim a load of speed off of there. Not quite enough. That's definitely going to infect our time. But it is what it is as we carry on going around. Final corner, little dab of the brake before we turn in this time. And I think we are going to beat our first time, so I'm happy with that. A 132.354. Not too shabby from the Track Caddy. Let's get this beast back to the garage, see where it's going to sit on the board, probably not in the top 5, and then see if we can sell the beautiful Track Caddy on for a nice bit of profit. There we are, all finished with the Cadillac Fleetwood, or Track Caddy, as it's more affectionately been called, taken around the racetrack, and it didn't do too bad, pitting down a 132.354 for its flying lap, which puts it 12th out of 24, and just about beats the Nissan GT-R Liberty Walk by about half a second. So not too shabby from the Track Caddy. Very impressed with that. But let's talk some facts and figures. We bought the car for $11,030 at the beginning and could have sold it and lost out on $2,194. We obviously didn't do that. We spent a further $71,958 upgrading, tuning, modifying, and painting this beautiful Track Caddy. I think it looks fantastic in my opinion. I quite like that pearl grey we've used on the body. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments below. But we did spend a total of $82,988 getting this one up to how you see it now. So is there some money to be made from the beautiful Track Caddy? There's only one way to find out. Let's get in. Let's take a look. Well, there she is, all 100% complete. We love to see it. There is 2 configs, obviously, as I've said, one with red interior, one with the black interior. We went for the red interior, obviously. The V8 overhead valve SS engine pumping out 307 factory horsepower. We managed to add an additional 304 to it, 99%, bringing it up to 610 horsepower, which is how we managed to get a 132.354. Not the quickest, but still a relatively quick time around the racetrack. Very impressed with that one. But we did spend $82,988 to get here. Can we make some profit from the beautiful Caddy? We can indeed, with the sale price of $180,657. There is definitely $97,669 to be made from this beautiful, beautiful Cadillac. Absolutely love that. Obviously, as you can see, the Nissan Z is now in 4th place on our show car board, so it gets to sit here out front with our other top 5. Looking absolutely fantastic. I love it. I think it's a beautiful car. I know the livery isn't everybody's cup of tea, but it's a bit crazy. It's a bit wild, a little bit over the top. And for me, and for maybe a couple of other people, it's got a bit of a hidden meaning, a bit of a secret meaning. So we'll leave it at that. But now it is time to say goodbye to the beautiful Track Caddy, the Cadillac Fleetwood. Off you go. Beautiful mod by bdasilvacarvalho. Link in the description below. It is available on the Steam Workshop, so you could just easily get it there if you don't want to scroll down into the description and find the link. But what have we got coming up next? Well, it is something pretty special. This is a mod / not mod, if that makes sense, I guess. This has taken everything from the DLC Ford F350 and made it a single cab, a shortened version. It's done by Multiply. It is absolutely fantastic. I've been looking forward to this since I first seen it teased, and now I've got it. It's available in the latest TK Aftermarket Public Test Edition. I believe it's in there. So if you've got that version, you should have this in there somewhere. You might have to make the config, not make the config, but add the config to the files yourself. But there we go. So let's get in and have a look. This is obviously meant to look like this. Double cab, bigger, longer truck. It's a nice looking truck, but I do love this short cab version. It is the Ford F350 Super Duty Multi's edition. I have personally changed a few bits on this config just to make it look a little bit better, in my opinion. We'll cover them in the episode. But yeah, I think you can get this in all of the places. I might have added Junkyard, I'm not sure, to get out a relatively bad condition one. It's obviously not that bad. We've seen plenty worse. But did we get a good deal for it? Absolutely not. $62,609 is what I paid, and I could sell it for $51,894, losing out on $10,715 before we even begin, and that's not good. Hopefully, we'll be able to claw some of that money back when we build this one. And I'm not sure where to do this one. We'll talk more about it in a minute. The engine in this one is the V8 5-litre double overhead cam, a supercharged Miami MSPM motor, which again is included in the TK Aftermarket pack. That's how I've got all of this. So if you get the latest version, the public test version of TK Aftermarket, you'll get all of this stuff that I'm talking about, including the rims we used in the last episode. So I'm looking forward to playing around with this Miami V8 Supercharged. Should be a lot of fun. But do you think we should put it on the racetrack or the drag strip? And I will tell you, the original version of this is a 4-wheel drive, Mine is not. If I just go into photo mode, so we can actually get in here and take a look, if I squeeze in the original Multy's version without any changes, you've got drive axles coming out here, but they don't connect to anything. And I'm not a big fan of that. I like things to sort of look at least like they should work. So I made it rear-wheel drive only, and it is properly rear-wheel drive. I also fixed the steering rack. I think it was on the wrong side, and all the connections obviously weren't lining up. So I changed a couple of little bits on this, but really nothing special. I might have brought the engine up or down just a little bit, that sort of thing, but not really too much has changed on it. So just bear that in mind. Yours might be slightly different to mine because I've made some changes. I am very much looking forward to this beast. I cannot wait to get stuck into it. I want to do some customization. I want to know if Multy's included any liveries or things like that. I have made some stripes myself just to play around with. So I'll make these stripes available to my members, but only to my members. It's very simple stripes. You could very easily make them yourself. So make sure to join us back here on Monday for that beautiful Ford F350 short cab version. I think it's going to be absolutely stunning. I can't wait to drive it. Do let me know in the comments if you want it in the racetrack or the drag strip, because I think that one could be a lot of fun. I definitely don't want to go around the gravel track without something that isn't four-wheel drive again. But if you really want to see it in the gravel track, do let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave a cheeky little like if you did enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Welcome if you are. But there we go. And you can become a channel member of the VM Garage Club, by clicking the join button below for £2.99 a month, where you get access to the custom configs and liveries. I create a Discord server where we can all chat and have a laugh, and you get to see early previews of all of my builds the day before at very minimum. But there we go. Thank you all so much for watching it. Or sorry, if you do want to become a channel member, you know, click the link and all of that, like these guys on screen here. Thank you very much to all my channel members. I very much appreciate every single one of you. You really do help me out, and you make me feel better about myself as well. So cracking. Good work. Thank you very much for that. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.